Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Near Mint Condition, a channel where you can be part of a positive and honest community. I am, of course, your host, Dom of X, and we have our monthly live solicitations for the independent books. And, of course, I am joined by my two lovely co-hosts, as per usual. Hello, Ian. To my right is the wonderful Joe, Talks Comics. Who are you, my friend?
Thank you for having me back, as always. It's been several of these now, so it's really cool to be getting into these. But I run a podcast where I talk to friends about the comics that we've been reading and enjoying lately, plus certain episodes where I go over my top picks from the solicitations each month and lots of exciting creator interviews. So some very exciting episodes this month, so definitely go over there and check them out if you're interested. Thank you.
And James has all of the links as per usual, with our awesome epic producer, James. Hello, Arkham. And is, of course, my other epic friendo. Taylor, who are you?
I am Taylor of Taylor Talks Comics. I do all the social media for Near Mint Condition. So if you chat on any of the social media accounts for Near Mint Condition, that is me speaking to you. The SMG I like to sign my name off on. Also, I have my own YouTube channel, though. Taylor Talks Comics. Go subscribe, please. I'm on the road to 3,000 subscribers. I need your help.
I think we both are. We both are, but there is Taylor's YouTube and his Blue Sky. Everybody's going over to Blue Sky. I'm over at Blue Sky and using it a lot more. And hello to everybody here. Fernando, thank you. I am actually going to be giving away my Bulbasaur soon to a friend because he's sleeping while all the other Pokemon are awake. But whatever the case may be, I do love my S1 starters. Hello, Brett Hogan. I hope you're doing well too, man. Hope you are doing well too. Of course, there is my Blue Sky down below. I'm posting more often there now versus the other platform. So yes, we will be talking about Youngblood later in this stream. But yes,
all three of us are on Blue Sky though, and I shared our account links from the Near Mint Condition account. So if you guys want to follow all three hosts, you follow us over there, or James links. I guess James just shared the links too.
Whichever one gets to you quicker or first. I think that is the case in goal for us. But yes, this is
amazing.
Go ahead,
Joe. I was just gonna say it's amazing because I joined like a week or two ago and I already got like almost as many followers as I had over on the other site, which is amazing.
Yeah, same.
It's a burgeoning platform. I love it.
It is, and I think comic releases is also now on Blue Sky. Webhead and I haven't posted anything on there yet, but we will starting next month is the goal. So we are migrating our way over there. There is the Near Mint Condition Blue Sky as well. It's a nice. I love the overlay. It's like a nice mix between Threads and the parts of the other pond that I like. On top of everything else, there you go. Thank you, James, for the comic releases. Blue Sky, which is where we are going to look at all these stations. So we are going to be. Oh gosh,
are you still with us?
Did I die? I think I died.
We can hear you.
Hello?
Now. You're good. I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm just glad it's not
that was
me.
Weird.
You just had a little cutout there.
That was no, it's definitely me. Maybe it's the I blame Black Fridays. That's all I am going to say.
It's probably Starlink because you were just disparaging him and the owner there, and he's probably got a Starlink above your head and is trying to kill your internet.
Oh,
that's my tinfoil hat discussion for the
day. It's a new conspiracy theory every single day. But yes, we are going to be going over the Titan, IDW, Dark Horse, Boom, and Image solicitations for the month of February. And for those who are unfamiliar with these solicitations, etc. These are going to go over all of the previews that are going to be, or the previewed comics that are going to be orderable starting next month, but right before the FOC. So while these comics say, oh, it's going to be out February, a lot of these comics are coming March, April, and so on and so forth to get pre-order dates and everything else in. So once again, it is for February, and we are going to start this off with Titan, as long as they allow me to share my screen.
Yeah, they've given us some breaking news here. That's why we were a little bit late on the stream, by the way. So apologies to you guys, but Titan's breaking news for us.
I guess so. The first, let me see if I can zoom in. The first comic that we are getting is, they're pumping these out, Savage Sword of Conan Omnibus Volume 11. This is, of course, going to be continuing the line of the Conan omnibuses that are now coming out in full-fledged form from Titan Comics. We got to see a lot of them. Of course, yes, thank you, James. You can view these on my site, comicreleases.com. $150, 856 pages, collecting Savage Sword 146 to 158 and the Skull of Set graphic novel, along with issue 53 of Marvel graphic novel.
Is this the I forget which volume did Marvel end on?
It's a 10, right?
8.
Yeah.
They got to 8 with Savage. So this is the third new volume we'll be getting. They finished on 10 on the Marvel years, but for Savage they only got to 8.
That was it.
So it's going to be 3 brand new volumes from Titan for you guys.
It's pretty impressive. I still have not read any.
Which ones have come out so far? Is it just the first couple, or I lost track of which ones are out? If only there was some way I could find out.
Ones that have officially been released are just the first volumes of each Marvel years and Savage.
Right,
Original years and Savage.
I can scroll up. Thank you, Joe. Yes, you can figure these out in our archive on Comic Releases. If we go through and see the omnibuses that have come out, Savage Sword Volume 1, the Conan Volume 1, and Savage Sword 2.
Oh, Savage Sword 2 came out in November. Okay, so we're 2 of those so far.
You moved there today. So yes, and then Savage Sword is out today for those who are unfamiliar.
Yeah, for people that weren't around when Marvel is reprinting these omnibuses, Titan now has a license, so they're trying to sandwich them both. So they're trying to like reprint the ones that Marvel already printed, as well as printing new ones. So that's why we're getting like volumes 1, 2, and 11 around the same time.
Absolutely. Cover choices.
This is Paul Galassi artwork in it. Ooh,
it does.
Paul Galassi is amazing. He's one of my favorite artists.
Paul Galassi is amazing. I agree with that. And yes, very happy about Volume 11. Savage Sword Omni was the first Omni that led to my collection addiction, and now I'm broken, scratching my arm from. Hey, don't we all I think have that like one thing in our collection that just sort of broke the camel's back and decided, hey, we want to spend a whole lot of money on these because they look cool and we want to read them. So,
what was it for you?
For me, it was the Fantastic Four by Hickman Omnis that the people in the Releases server egged me to get on, and I haven't stopped since.
Mine was the Fourth World Omnibus for Jack Kirby. That was my first omnibus.
I might be getting the absolutes this Black Friday.
No, hey, I actually recently sold that one, but long story. But I went to the older volumes that are like 4 separate volumes, and they're on nicer paper. But anyway, you can get the Fourth World in any format. I absolutely support. Joe, do you have a straw breaking the camel's back of your collecting?
Well, I was going to say, weirdly, I think my first omnibus was Injustice, Volume 1.
Oh, okay.
Because I think...
Were you a fan of the game?
Well, that's the thing. I hadn't played the games.
Oh, okay.
I must have heard of them. I think I literally saw Tom Taylor post about the Injustice omnibus, the first one, on maybe Twitter or whatever. And I thought it looked really cool. It was a really cool cover, and just seeing it all like connected in one massive hardcover. It was like the first time I'd seen anything like that, and then I decided to like get it, and then it just obviously snowballed from there.
Yeah, that's what did it for me. I was looking up Jack Kirby stuff, and I was like, the whole entire Fourth World's collected in one book, and then
well, because I remember soon after when I was suddenly looking into all these omnibuses, I was researching them. That's when I stumbled across Nim and Condition, looking for omnibus overviews. So
yeah.
All stems from Injustice for some reason.
I love that. I love that it's so unique in that way. It's like, oh, we gotta this is out. You got Superman fighting Batman, and we need to figure out the backstory of it. That's cool. I grew up with the Injustice games. I still have my copy of Injustice 2 right next to me. So yeah,
nice.
From the right from the get-go.
I think at one point the first game was like free or something on the PS Store that I just grabbed it, and I didn't play it too much, but I played it a bit, and that was long after I got the Omnis, so I literally just went in relatively blind, but it's a fun read.
That's how we get in.
Yeah.
I need them to reprint other Kirby DC Omnis.
Oh yeah,
look
like
at that, Taylor.
Bronze Age.
You and Alex both.
Yeah, for sure. All that stuff needs to be reprinted.
I agree. Next up, we got Minky Woodcock, The Girl Called Cthulhu. This is
what a title.
Butler from the Hard Case Crime imprint at Titan, one of the best imprints in my opinion. Anywhere. $24.99, 112 pages, coming out on the 7th of May next year.
Yeah, these are newer comics. So the Hard Case Crime imprint, they reprint classic comics, but also newer crime comics. This one's a newer one. But sensational artist, author, and playwright Cynthia Von Bueller. I didn't realize she was a playwright. That's kind of cool. But I definitely want to check this out. I've especially this past Halloween, I got real deep into H.P. Lovecraft stuff. So anything related to Lovecraft or the interpretation of, I'm interested in.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. Then, last but not least, I think for the hardcovers is the Michael Moorcock Library Elric Balance Lost Volume 1. Collecting the first 6 issues, as well as the 10-page FCBD Prelude, $29.99, 160 pages on the 9th of April of next year.
Written by Chris Robers. That's the gentleman that wrote iZombie, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I've not read any of these.
Looks cool though.
The Elric Michael Moorcock stuff seems like such a huge like mythology that you have to like really dive into. Kind of reminds me of like a Conan or something, but I don't know. So I haven't dove into it yet, but I'm sure if I ever do, I'll become obsessed and try to buy everything. But I haven't got there yet.
Oh, for sure. And that, I believe, is it for the hardcovers. We do have 2 mangas that are coming out from Titan. The first of which is Dopeman, 208 pages, $12.99. In a Japan transformed by drugs, accompany the D Unit as they battle addicts with destructive powers.
Wait, how'd you pronounce that? You say Dopeman?
Dopeman.
It's like, I think it's Dope Man, right? Like Spider-Man? Dope Man? Like it's not like Spider-Man. It's not like
I don't know.
Spider-Man. Who are you? I am Clark Kent Superman. I was just teasing you.
I do like the cover. I don't know. Caught my eye.
Looks like
forcing
some
me to buy the book.
Drug dealing crime comics.
Drug dealing, yeah. It's a war zone, so it's a war zone Japan, with gangs. And the other one is definitely not about that. It is Somali and the Forest Spirits Volume 2, which is part of with an anime launch not too long ago. 192 pages, $12.99, on sale next year on the 26th of March.
Read along to the hit 12-episode Crunchyroll anime. That makes me reminds me like the old classic like Disney read along books, where like you play the record and read along with it.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it's not the same format, but it just made me think of that. Like you'd be like reading it as the episode was going on. You could go on. I'm just rambling.
Yeah, I'm
on my second cup of coffee. Sorry.
I do not know too much about this, but it does look. I mean, Titan makes cool manga regardless.
No, they've really diversified their catalog into like manga and newer comics and classic comics. Like I feel like that's kind of I think I talked about that before. I think it's like the trifecta of what you need and to be a good publisher. Have some licensed stuff, some classic comics, some newer comics, and then some manga. Have that 4 pillars, and it'll hold you up pretty good.
Also, know like we always talk about Dark Horse manga, and they've got
Dark Horse does a great job of that too, of having like licensed stuff, classic stuff, newer stuff, and manga.
So yes, that is it for the title line. The big one, the big headliner is of course Savage Sword Volume 11. Great cover selections as per the usual. I just wish Titan would have a Giant Blade Runner collection instead of the box set.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I feel you there.
Maybe will.
Yeah. Who knows? They are putting out a lot of things.
I've been need to read those Blade Runner comics for a while since I love the movies.
Big same. You're getting called out by Mr. Paperback Dan.
Paperback Dan.
How are you doing, man? How are you doing? All right. We are going on to IDW, the first of which is...
We're hitting with a heavy hitter here.
Yeah. One of my favorite comics of all time.
This is a reprint.
Born Again.
This is a reprint, but I'm glad they're reprinting it. So if you were into the Batman Year One David Mazzucchelli Artist Edition, this is the perfect companion to that. This is David Mazzucchelli with Frank Miller again, doing Daredevil Born Again, and clicks every single page in there, plus some other stuff. Mazzucchelli notoriously keeps every single piece of original art, at least a scan of it, and this collects every single bit of it. It won't be as big as the Year One edition because it looks like it's 12 by 17. I think the Batman Year One was like 18 by 24, maybe. But still, a great companion piece, and includes a lot of the ephemera and sketches and concept ideas that Mazzucchelli was working through along with the original pages. I cannot wait till this comes out. I've been waiting for a reprint of this. I refuse to get the Artisan edition, which are like the cheaper, smaller paperback versions they do of these artist editions, because I wanted the true thing. So I'm excited for this to come out.
Wow, how admirable.
I know sometimes I do that. Sometimes I play the karma game with my collected edition. Sometimes I'll sell a collected edition in hopes that they'll finally print a better version, and then I'll buy that and enjoy it again.
There we go. Joe Brent Hogan says they're all supposedly good stories and canon stories too.
Yeah, that's interesting to know.
So
thank you.
One other quick comment: Titan has really taken a back step on Doctor Who. They're still pumping out singles. Dan Waters, I know, just wrapped up a Doctor Who series that I finished reading. The only reason I started reading it was because Artgerm drew a cover for the series, and I read it. I had no idea what was happening because I'm not a big Doctor Who guy. But I don't think they're publishing any Doctor Who at the moment, though. I saw the single solicits and nothing there. So
I think they printed. I think it was Titan printed a lot of the classic Doctor Who comics, which is what I would be interested in. I know they did like a Dave Gibbons collection that I've been trying to track down. I'm not the biggest Doctor Who fan, but most of my comic buying is related to who the artist is, anyways. So having a Dave Gibbons collection of comics sounds awesome.
Did you read the whole series, Dom, or just the first issue of the
I read the 4 issues. I don't know who the new Doctor is or how it I had to repeatedly ask people around me who knew something about the series about who the characters were. I was just I don't know who these guys are. I felt so bad. Because I did an interview with Dan Waters, and I was like, what am I supposed to ask about a series that I don't know about?
Wait, is a brand new launch of a series?
Yeah, a couple of months ago.
New miniseries with the latest Doctor.
And it was like not a good launching on point. Few still, like, it should have like been a good introductory series. No?
Oh, I got it. I even
okay.
told him like I get what's happening. I just like want to understand more of the lore. I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good afternoon, William. Good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. But yeah, Joe, would you buy something like this in one day? Maybe someday?
I don't know. I think it probably a bit like how it took me a while to break into absolute editions. It'll probably depend on the story, but
it's definitely a rabbit hole.
Something like this, I'd probably go with a even like the omnibus or the epic collection first.
I will say, anybody that doesn't have an artist edition that's interested in the format, I think the better ones to get would be something like this that actually has the entire story in it. There are other artist editions that don't have. They just collect like a bunch of different original pages, kind of haphazardly, because that's all they could find. I mean, Scott Dunbier that puts these together would much rather have the whole story, but that's not always easy to find. So like something like this would be a good gateway one. The Batman Year One, I think, was a gateway one for a lot of people. I saw a lot of people that don't have any artist editions getting that one. But it's fun to read these comics in this format. I will say I was kind of disappointed by the Chris Samney Black Widow one, just because it doesn't have the lettering in it, because the lettering was done. The lettering is done digitally, so it only collects the original art pieces. I wish they would have put that on somehow, because you can't read it then. Like, which I mean, I know like Josh Greathouse, if he's in the chat, messaged me. It's like, it's not for reading; it's an art book. Like, I know, but I like to read it as if like the artist handed me a stack of original pages and I'm like reading through it. But I digress.
Well, also, $150 isn't much more than like omnibus or absolute, so it doesn't makes it seem
right.
And
and
my absolute, or this absolute that came in, I mean, it was $150. So
yeah, and someone will counter it's only 200 pages, but I mean it's massive and they're beautiful. Like, these are beautifully designed, beautifully put together. Like, there's no shortcuts taken, and there's nothing cheap done about these. Like, they're like a premiere format. Like the pages, the paper they use is like really thick and nice. It's not like cheap, like some other collected editions might be. But
yeah.
All right, Reaper. He's got a question for the Taylor. Is the John Law collection worth getting, or would Eisner's Spirit be better because that's what John Law became?
I mean, I'm not I haven't read enough of Eisner's Spirit to be like an expert or anything, but I've not read John Law either. So you've got me beat there. But I mean, the Spirit that I have read from Eisner is definitely worth reading, especially the post-war stuff. That's when he was really like experimenting with the format and all the like the great title pages and working with like the title lettering and things, playing around with that. It's like post-war era. But I'm not familiar with John Law. Maybe not. I guess I don't. If you're a huge Eisner fan, I would say probably. Okay. But the Eisner's best work was like post-war.
Well, there you go. Got another artist edition, and this one is Marvel covers with Jack Kirby, Mignola, Frank Miller, Romita Sr., Starlin, Steranko, Adams, Buscema, Kane, Byrne, and more. This is $150, 144 pages.
This is also a reprint. So this kind of answers a question for me, because I've been wondering, now that Scott Dunbier's left, IDW has now built his own publishing company called Act 4, what IDW was going to do with the artist edition format, because Scott Dunbier was pretty much like the guy that did it all. Like, as far as that format goes, there's not really anyone left at IDW that would be able to pick up the pieces and continue it. So I wondered if, rather than getting new volumes anytime soon, if they would just start reprinting a lot of the older volumes. And it looks like that's the case, because we're getting both of these. Now there was the Wallywood EC collection was originally announced as an IDW reprint with added stories. That's now moved over to Act 4, which is interesting. So I don't think the rights are exactly like everything that IDW printed in this format. They have the rights to do still. I think there's some back and forth there. I don't know how that works. I have no information on that. But I've been wondering if we're going to get reprints of this stuff, and I'm glad that they are, and I hope they keep reprinting. I mean, they've done so many; they can reprint so many. So that's really cool that we're getting 2 reprints this month. And this one's cool. I mean, look at that classic cover on the first cover right there. Giant size X-Men. I mean,
it is Giant
Come on.
Size X-Men by the wonderful and amazing
And
Gil.
then-
Yeah.
I love the title lettering on the back there. You can see a little preview. You see Master Kung Fu. You got some Gene Cole and Dracula.
Long shot, Avengers.
Long shot, yeah, by Art Adams. Can't go wrong with that one. Yeah, so there's been some cool stuff there.
Yeah.
Another one I don't own, but I would like to.
All right, there you go. Well, you can buy it, Taylor, for $150 coming out on the 18th of February.
Nice. Maybe for Valentine's Day.
Of course. Next up, we got a source book by IDW. This is TMNT, the ultimate guide to the TMNT universe, 408 pages, $59.99, coming out next year on the 4th of March.
This is really cool, and it's obviously only for the biggest of the biggest geeks for this era of TMNT, which is a lot of people. But it's going to be like a coffee table book. It looks like that kind of gives you probably like a mixture of like a who's who and maybe some concept art and things. 400 pages, but I love that the spine matches the other hardcovers, so you can collect all those hardcovers and put this right at the end of it and have like a complete set of like that era of 150 issues, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 150 issues of TMNT. And I assume if popular enough, they would do a paperback version eventually to match those that they're doing. But I think it's cool though. I don't think I'd personally buy it because I haven't read this era of TMNT, but I definitely love these source books for series that I am into.
I think it's nice for like the people too who might like only want encyclopedia type guides, like
Yeah,
encyclopedia type guides for like this is this character, this is that. So like if you want like a nice Christmas present for someone.
or you know what? Actually, if you've read this series digitally too, and you just want a book on your shelf to like represent that series, I've thought about that with a lot of manga, like One Piece. I'd love to read all of One Piece, but I'm never going to own all of One Piece on my shelf because it's going to take like a whole entire bookshelf to fill up 100 and whatever volumes that is going to end up being. But I kind of would like an art book of like the art in the series, and then read it digitally otherwise, something like that.
Well, as you say, like even nowadays with wikis and things online, people almost crave these sorts of things, if not more so, just have something physical.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But yes, that is what we do have for the source books, TM. And on the other hand, we do have TMNT, The Mirage Years by Jim Lawson, collecting all 13 issues from their original colors.
Holy crap. I didn't know this was coming out. This is amazing. Do you know what this is? What era this is?
Please tell us, Taylor.
Okay, so if you have the original black and white TMNT series, they came out with 7 hardcovers for it, and it's been released another 4. Oh, they're doing the compendiums now, the bigger, like huge compendiums. Well, after that era, Jim Lawson took over TMNT and started a new volume. They're calling this Volume 2, and ran for 13 issues. And I don't think this has ever been collected. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this era has ever been collected, because I thought I was going to have to seek out these issues, single issues, to ever read this, because I've never read this era. This is before, so they had the original Eastman Laird era that like I said, this collected in 7 hardcovers, or the compendiums, which haven't been completed. I think there'll probably be 4 of those when they're all said and done. Then they did this era of 13 issues, and then they went to Image, where those were released in 2 paperbacks, which I think were called the Ultimate Collection. Oh, they're there. Oh, the Urban Legends. Those were collected in 2 paperbacks. So if you want like a succession of Turtles, here's how you do it. You get either the 7 hardcovers or the compendiums. Then you get this paperback, and then you can get the Ultimate Urban Legends collections. And you'll have all the TM. There's your reading order right there. Look at that. Bada bing, bada boom.
Sweet and simple and to the point.
Oh, this is the hardcover. I was wrong. Oh man, sorry.
Yeah, it's a hardcover.
Backtrack. 7 by 10, 4, 5. That's like
It's the same size as the other deluxe. No.
Yeah, so not the size of the Ultimate hardcover collections, but still slightly oversized, I think. Regardless,
yeah, it's the Archie stuff at some point, wasn't there?
I mean, I don't care. I'm going to buy it anyways. I've always wanted to read this stuff. Oh, it says right here too for a reading order. So there's 3 compendiums. Okay, so because I don't have the compendium, so I apologize for not knowing the content in there. But the 3 compendiums for TMNT collect the same content or stories or issues. There's some issues that are not in both of them, but we can get over that. It's basically the same stories as what's in the 7 hardcovers. And City at War is the story that concluded the Eastman Laird era. That's in Compendium Volume 3, and it's also in hardcover Volume 5 of the Ultimate Collections. This takes place right after that. So if you have the 3 compendiums, this is where you lead off next.
I see.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I think because I remember when I remember when I started doing these with Omar, I was like, Omar, the omnibuses aren't the same size as like the omnis. And what I meant by that is the trim size and not like the page size.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that I was right and Omar was technically wrong. That's it.
All right. Hey, it's on the record now, and he's not here to defend himself. So
and he can't defend himself.
It's factually correct now.
Oh dear.
All right. This is the Beauty of Horror 7 Backwards Records coloring book. Omar is wrong. Don't tell Omar. Don't tell Omar. Coloring book for $16.99, 88 pages. Don't really know much about this, but it's weird that they're published and not Halloween time.
Yeah, that is interesting. I see these all the time at like Walmarts and stuff, though, so they must be popular. Like this actual like line from IDW.
Yeah. Here's an actual comic, My Little Pony Maritime Mysteries. Like some of the last ones too. Stephanie Williams and Abby Bulmer, $16.99, 96 pages. So this is a thin one. This is smaller than the Absolute Power Origins trade paperback DC published. That's $17.99, 92 pages, something like that. So
it must be just like the last series. They're trying to just get it out there.
Yeah, I think we got these 2, and that's it. And I got.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I think the way these licenses work is like, as long as it's solicited by the date, which I think is January 1st. As long as it's solicited by the date, they can still get it out. I think that's why we had some bleed over with the Marvel Conan stuff and like into January, February, whenever they lost that license. I assume that's how it works because I don't know otherwise how to be okay, or maybe it's not January. Maybe it's March that they lose the license. I don't know.
Maybe it's like the comics, like the printed out stuff, like for the periodicals that like they lose to, and then publish out whatever they need to finish out their collected edition sets and then call it a day. I have no idea how that works, but
whatever it is, it has to be figured out and agreed upon contractually, or else they would be like, no.
Yes. Oh, hey, please like the video.
Low Hit's good people.
Indeed. Hello, Amza. Omar, where are you? He is currently filming the monthly
budget meeting
checklist for all of the books coming out in December. It's 5 weeks too, so.
Ooh.
That's always a doozy for him.
Yeah, we've had 4 of those in the last like 8 months. So it was easy for me. I'm compiles the list so he can just you can just record whenever. So yeah, they're not fun to deal with.
They're fun to watch though. I appreciate that he makes those videos.
You reload the page. Shadow Play, Book 1, Midnight School by Sam Fonseca. $24.99, 424 pages. This is a TPB original. February 11th. Psychological horror about creative souls struggling against oppression and depression.
That sounds amazing. Wild. It was a Brazilian graphic novelist, Sam Fonseca. Man, Brazilian is a burgeoning has a burgeoning comics community right now. Really, I think in a few years there are going to be some big heavy hitters coming out of Brazil. But I've never heard of this, and I am I confused because this is an OGN, and IDW owns what's it called? First Second, right? First Second.
Yeah, First Second.
Yeah, they own First Second, and I don't know why they don't move all their OGNs over to that imprint, but maybe it's I don't know what that has to do. And regardless, this looks interesting.
It does. Yeah, he is filming. A lot of filming for him this morning. So, hello, Yusuf Jose.
Hello.
And yeah, it does look promising. This actually does whatever this solicitation pitch is, I'm already hooked with that.
Right, me too.
That sounds fantastic.
And I always love comics that are done by one hand. Like he's doing all the art, writing, and lettering. Like you can't get any better synergy from an artist when it's one person doing it.
Yep, completely agreed. Saturday Morning Adventures from Eric Burnham, Dan Shaning, Jack Lawrence, and Sarah Meyer. 128 pages, $16.99. This
is the series where they're it's like a nostalgic series. It's like modern comics, but they're taking it back to the era and the themes and the vibe of the original Saturday morning cartoon.
Correct.
Only volume 4, and they only have 11 issues in here. Up to 11 issues.
Up to 11 issues, and an
April. These must be thinner trades then.
Yeah, 128 pages. They're not big.
Yeah, so like 4 issues a trade.
Yep, correct. And then we got the trade paperbacks that Taylor was talking about earlier with the Ultimate / IDW collections. However, they decide to promote these now. Kevin Eastman, Paul Allor, and all those amazing guys. $39.99, 384 pages, collecting issues 45 through 50, along with the 2015 FCBD issue.
Yeah, these are the paperbacks that mirror the exact same contents and design and everything. Even the spine looks the same as the hardcovers everybody has. So guys like Paperback Dan has been really excited these were coming out because he doesn't collect anything besides paperbacks, and he wanted these thick collections of this era. He's a big fan of this Turtles era, but
yeah, it's cool that they kept doing these.
Mm-hmm.
It is indeed. And that's $40 for this, Alex. Berna is really good. We need to read this. Yeah, 40. Well, it is 400 pages. It is one of the it's on the thicker side. It's a lot like the Marvel Epic / Complete / Ultimate collections, whatever. It's about the same material.
Yeah.
That you would be getting those.
Definitely the Epics is a good comparison because it collects everything. Like it doesn't just collect the ongoing, like this series of paperbacks. It collects everything, all the miniseries and everything, and puts them all in order, just like an Epic collection would.
Indeed. But speaking of which, if I can find these stupid segments, it is that time to talk about our Canadian sponsor, BD Cosmos, with a physical storefront in Montreal, Quebec. You can get 25% off your order of $99 or more. On top of that, free shipping everywhere in Canada for every order at $200 or more. Their shipping care is exceptional, and your books will stay cozy through the now very rough Canadian winter that is about to come in for those people up north. But if you let us know, or let them know, that we sent you from Near Mint Condition, you will be added to a monthly $25 gift card raffle, which are entered for both new and returning customers. BD Cosmos, the Canadian leaders in customer service in Canada. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. That was a... Someone tell me how Melanie does these, man. I need to... I've been doing these, I think, for the last couple of months, but gosh, it feels like...
You just need a soundboard with her singing it, and you just push a button, take a drink of coffee while you're listening to it.
Minties, buy me a soundboard. I will be there at the forefront and make sure that Melanie is somehow in spirit, able to be snapped in at the snooze of a button. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next of these, which is Dark Horse. What a cover for Christmas. First of which is The Art of Bravely Default 21X to 2021. This is part of the Bravely Default 2 saga. It's another one of the art books, but $49.99, 300 pages.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out. So this is a video game by Square Enix?
Yeah, it's a video game.
Okay.
And next up, one of Omar's favorites by David M. Boer and Drew Zucker, Canto Volume 5, A Place Like Home. This is collecting Place Like Home 1 through 6 and $29.99, 160 pages.
It's been I still am shocked that IDW let this license go away because they started it off. The Canto license went single issues in. I don't know if they did collected editions yet, but then Dark Horse picked it up. And at one point, there's rumor that they were optioned for an animated series, which I think would be perfect for it. But yeah, hugely popular series. I think it's all ages too, right?
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I need to because it seems right up my alley. But
my pal Neil loves Canto.
Yes, he does.
Switch that. Yes, I hope Dark Horse reprints the whole thing. Those IDW books went fast.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first couple of volumes of Kanto, but I need to read the rest now.
Same here. I think it might be my favorite David M. Boer series, I think, too. I think if I had to pick and choose between, I think this would be my favorite of his indie stuff that he's done.
I've had him on the podcast twice. It was a nice guy.
Ooh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
James, if you're here, please clip the podcast link on Spotify.
Ooh, there you go.
Send people Joe's way. Boo her. I hardly knew.
I was saying Buans.
There you go. Oh, here's a team up I didn't even know existed. Scott Collins and James Robinson on Patra, which is a horror series. This is a new take on 1970s slasher movie villains, collecting issues 1 through 4 of Patra.
Now, it starts off with an apostrophe.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that one of their like gimmicks to get in the beginning of the alphabetizing of comics?
You just push it up. Who knows?
I've always heard people do things like that, or bands would do that. Like they wanted to start the name off with an S because there's so many S titles in the record store that they wanted to have a more unique letter so they'd stand out more at the.
Oh yeah, like have weird characters up so they can put it to the forefront.
It was weird. It's
one thing
in every instance in the solicit.
Yeah, one thing that Donny Cates said, which was really smart, was that he just got off doing Venom with Stegman. So then when they went to do their create their own series for Image, what's it called? Vanish? No, what's it called?
Yeah.
Oh, Vanish. Okay. They wanted to keep their names in the V rack. So whenever if you're looking through the V section of your comic book shop, you'd see Cates and Stegman on Venom, and then you'd see them both on Vanish.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nice.
Well, speaking of cool, thank you, James, for the Joe Joe plug. Please check it out. He has amazing interviews and talks with a whole lot of people. So check that out when you can.
Thank you.
Of course. And yeah, I'm partly interested. Hello?
Oh, I'm going to say, Dami cut out there. You're partially interested because of the creative team?
Yeah, because James Robinson hasn't really been doing much in the most he's been doing in anything for like the last couple years. He's like besties with Jeff Johns, and he produces and writes some of his shows that he either like Stargirl, for example. James Robinson is one of like the creators, quote unquote, of the show. And he's been doing a lot of that stuff. So I never see him around in comics anymore. And on top of that, I love Sky Collins on John's Flash. He's one of my favorite artists. So
that's what I was going to ask, if it's the same, because that cover doesn't look anything like his Flash art.
It does not. It's very, very unique. Yeah.
I wonder if he's working in a different style, which is fine.
Yeah.
Just interesting.
Very much. Yeah, for sure. Next up, we got the Drifters Omnibus. I think this is for. This looks like a great house book, honestly. $29.99, 688 pages. Coming out on the 15th of April of next year.
There you go. If you're a fan of the Helsing or the Helsing hardcovers, same creator.
Yeah. And then from the threats, for the World of Minor Threats, Barfly. Have not checked out the rest of the series since the first one dropped. I really do like Ryan Brown's art. If it was on Charles Soule's series that he's been on recently.
The 8 million genies.
8 billion genies.
And then I think got a new one as well. Lucky Devils.
Yeah, you're right.
And they did the what was the Wizard series they did? Curse Words.
Oh yes.
So, and then Ryan Brown also did the God Hates Astronauts by himself.
Yes. I really like the first 2 issues of this, but I need to read the. I think the 3rd and 4th issues were delayed, but if they're out, I need to read them.
I've not read anything from Minor Threats, but I know I'll love it. Like there's no question in my mind that because all the creative teams that are involved, I like, and I like the concept of it and the idea. I just haven't dove into it yet. I'm probably waiting for some hardcovers or something. But
yeah, I think I've read almost everything that's come out so far in singles, and it's been a lot of fun.
And Kyle Starks and Ryan Brown doing a series that looks like it has some comedic vibes to it seems perfect.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So this is a Joe recommendation, guys. So if you are looking to pick up this in any format, if you're looking to read it immediately, that is one recommended by this panel. Next up, we got Sergio Aragones's Gru Minstrel Melodies. Issues 1 through 4 collected in here, 104 pages, $22.99.
I always hear that Sergio Aragones is like anti big fat collections, but Gru has been going on for like 30 years now, I think. And I wish he would go against that because I just wanted big fat collections of Gru, dating back to when I think Marvel Epic was printing them back in the day.
You're correct. Yeah.
But his cartooning is just amazing. Like famous for his Mad Magazine stuff is really where he started to get his name. And the lettering in these Gru comics is done by Stan Sakai of Usagi Yojimbo fame. That's always fun.
You're right. So yes, 104 pages. That is a big one, but yeah, someday hopefully we can get a large scale collection of these. I mean, Dark Horse or whoever publishes these should be able to put them out easily. Speaking of large collections, we do have Gunner Craig. I cannot say anything anymore. Court Volume 2, $39.99, 608 pages for this thickie. This is the webcomic continuing to write. I think we got Volume 1 earlier this month. Like last week, I want to say.
Dang. They're not kidding when he says long running. If it's 600 pages.
I mean, yeah, for a webcomic as well.
Yeah.
I never heard of this. If anybody here or in the chat has heard of this, let me know.
Let us know. Has to be a long one. And yeah, my selection for webcomics are very more dicey and selective than I would say regular comics, so I don't get a chance to check them out.
I'm glad webcomics are becoming collected editions for webcomics are becoming more in vogue because that's such a like it's almost like its own facet of comics. It has like their own following, their own fandom, their own creators that like don't really cross over much into the comics that we here enjoy, which is fine. But I would like to blend those lines better. It just seems like if you're a fan of webcomics or a creator of webcomics, you're almost like this whole different sector of comics. It's strange, but
yep, exactly.
Well, because I think like Heartstopper is put out through like a book publisher rather than say like a comic book publisher, which was like an interesting intersection of the book market and the comic book market because it's almost more of a like book, even though it's a collection of webcomics originally.
Yeah, those and Lore Olympus are real huge in Walmarts and Targets and stuff here over in the States.
I know that those two books specifically also have huge followings at my local comic shop. we have like
nice.
pull lists for people, and there are people who individually ask for those versus any other webcomic series.
Actually, I suppose I just realized it in the background photo. You can see the nice hardcovers of Heartstopper.
Oh yeah,
Next to Darks and Wind. So that's cool. Yeah, those are really nice.
Well, there you go.
I guess one question then before we can move on. Any recommendations for a webcomic site?
I mean, it's mainly Webtoon, isn't it? Or I suppose it depends.
That's the big one.
Yeah. Well, because I know Marvel and DC have started putting out their own like Webtoons on their subscription apps. But
thank you, Elon. You're
those
doing well. Thank you. And DC's putting out their printed versions of their webtoons. Although, I do find it interesting because most people just tell people like, "Oh, just read it on the app." Thank you, James. We appreciate you, bud. You can find your webtoons there.
There's like Marvel does like their Infinity comics, which are kind of like their digital comics, and I'm shocked that the It's Jeff series has not been given a collected edition and put into the book market and sold.
It's getting one soon.
Yeah,
finally. Geez whiz.
It was collected into singles, and then it's been collected.
That's such a perfect series to have like at book fairs for kids.
Oh no, that's the one series. I'm like, you read something, you want to give it to any age. Honestly, I don't care what age you are. Jeff is like one of the most enjoyable things in the world for all ages, for all people.
It's like a classic. It's like a classic gag comic strip, like from the newspaper. But like that's how it kind of reads. It's like you're set up with this situation, and then it ends with a funny gag. My son loves It's Jeff. Like he doesn't really read a lot of superhero comics, unfortunately for me. But whenever I have like the Marvel app open, he's like, "Oh, is there a new It's Jeff on there?"
The amount of people that didn't read Venom War, that probably read Venom War It's Jeff, is amazing.
Also true. But I'm glad it's getting collected edition because that's like.
But yes,
if Marvel can make some money selling to kids, like that's a perfect book for it.
I need to let Kelly Thompson know about that. I'll tell him. I'll tell Kelly you said that about your, because she still enjoys the heck out of writing that series.
That's awesome to hear. I hope she doesn't stop because it's fun. It's really, really a lot of fun, and like I said, my son loves it. We also need we need a cool like It's Jeff action figures, like all of him in it's like different.
Well, I think there's a plush. It was like a con exclusive or something.
No, they need to have it in like direct market, like Target, Walmart.
Yeah.
Like the Squishmallow or whatever, like Dom has behind him. Like, why don't we have an It's Jeff giant stuffy like that?
Well, yeah.
We do
that's what I was saying. I think they did like a limited version, but they should definitely do a wide release.
For real.
I agree with that.
He become like a big Marvel mascot, like Dupe should have been.
24. I think Global Comics does have some of them. I don't know which ones. I do know they have some of them. Yeah, let's move on. Volume 10 of Hellsing. People have been telling me the series is awesome at my local comic shop, and I have not yet gotten into it, but it's 192 pages, $14.99.
I've not read it myself. I've heard good and bad. I've heard that if you don't expect like a really deep story, you'll enjoy it. It's kind of like an action-packed series, but it's one of those I haven't read yet, which I should, because all of Dark Horse's manga is on Hoopla for free if you have a library account. So I have no reason not to read it, but yeah. So if you're picking up Drifters, here's also Hellsing, same month. Did Dom freeze?
Oh no, I'm here. I'm just
okay.
Processing.
No, you're fine. I thought you froze.
I'm processing.
Just thinking.
Yeah. Immortals with Fika Ossio. And Kill All Immortals, issues 1 through 5, 1999, 144 pages. Succession meets John Wick with Vikings who are immortal.
Yeah, Zach Kaplan's a solid writer from what I've read, so this looks cool.
Oh, okay. I was confused reading that. I was skimming through here. 1,000 years ago, Viking explorer Eric the Red and his 4 kids So I read that part, and then it said billionaire family. I'm like, billionaire? Did billionaires exist 1,000 years ago? But this is like a modernized version of that family. I get it now. Interesting.
You put Vikings in 2024.
Right. I'd read that.
Let's see. Next up, we got the Masked Marcher or Matcher. I cannot say anything.
I don't know.
How do you pronounce that? Macker, I assume.
Yeah. How do you guys?
Would have a T in it, right?
Yeah.
But it's wrestling. So I don't know. Regardless, it's a wrestling comic, so that seems interesting. A struggling actor taking an opportunity, it comes to knocking, and he becomes a pro wrestler. 1930s aspiring actor Tony Hollywood. I love the name. Finally gets an audition for a role that will change his life. Masked Matcher. I don't know how to pronounce that. Mache. The masked paper mache. Wrestling gig meets eye, but hello pay. Oh, it's the writer that wrote a Space Job in Orville.
Oh.
Interesting. Again, if there's any of these comics that we have no idea what they're about, let us know in the comments if you pick these up, or if you know anything about them. But I don't mind a good wrestling comic.
Someone tell me. Someone tell us.
Yeah, because I know that there was like a slew of wrestling comics that all came out around the same time a couple of years ago.
Yeah, with like Duo Powerbomb becoming the
that became the standard, I think.
Which we need a big hardcover collection of that.
Bunk's joining us in January because that is the earliest his work will allow him to change his schedule. But he will be here soon. I promise you that. I actually just got a text from him not too long ago. Anyways, there you go. Next up, we got Mob Psycho 100 Volume 15 by One from the creator of One Punch Man, Volume 15, $11.99, 200 pages.
I love that he named himself after the first word of his most famous manga. Like, can you imagine if other creators did that? Like Stan Lee would be like Spider.
Jack. Oh, we have a billion. What would Jack call himself?
Well, I guess Captain would be probably the first thing, or the most famous first thing he made.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we'd have Captain and Spider.
Captain Spider.
Oh
We're gonna start this trend now, huh?
no. It's almost very clear that James started it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. This is you know what?
Disclaimer.
I'm wondering we can if we can outdo Alf with the Omar is wrong hashtag.
Yeah, the Alf thing has kind of run its course, right? It's been going on for
I think we've been doing that joke for like the last 3-4 years
at least. I think it peaked though when he got the original art page from it. So I think that's when the Alf thing should have like, all right, we've got him an original art page of Alf. We're done here.
We're saying this is employees of NMC. No sponsorship added. Gerard
Way for the series. Yes.
Okay.
I've been hearing nothing but good things
about
this. Chris Weston on art. Gerard Way with his frequent collaborator Sean Simon, who collaborated on Umbrella Academy.
And freaking Dave Stewart on colors.
Oh yeah, can't go wrong with that. But Gerard Way, I'm a huge fan. I've been a huge fan of him. I was an emo kid in high school, so My Chemical Romance was my jam. But also Gerard Way, I love his story and everything about him. And he started off in comics actually. Not a lot of people know that, but he started off in comics, went to art school, was an intern at DC before My Chemical Romance became a band. And then just kind of dipsy doodle back to comics. And I'm glad he's back in comics because he hasn't done much since like the Young Animal imprint kind of like died out or petered out at DC. He's been away from comics for a while, so I'm glad he's back.
I just saw that the description AR meets Doctor Who on acid. I'm sold.
Yeah, like I cannot wait to read this. Every time I see every new comic book day when a new issue comes out and people are talking about reading it, I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous because I don't read single issues. Maybe I should just get over myself and do that. But regardless, I want to read this.
Yeah, same. Alpha Omnibus Idea was born on the 20.
How in the heck do you know that?
Yeah,
James Abel, you're a machine.
Oh, good morning, Bo. Hope you're doing well, friend. Maybe we could get you on one of these streams sometime. This cover. Oh gosh. Chillin' the bushes is frowned upon, especially with binoculars.
Maybe the character's doing like the Homer Simpson gif where it looks like a girl was standing in front of the bushes and then she's slowly backing into him. That should have been a variant cover. Someone should have done that.
Why do you have that clip, James?
Is that the? Didn't Riley start it? I think Riley came up with the idea as a joke.
I was sold on checking out My Chemical Romance when 3 Cheers came out because someone in a message board said the lead singer was a Vertigo intern with Sandman quotes in the lyrics.
There you go. Huge Grant Morrison fan. I love Gerard Way's relationship with Grant Morrison too, because the way it started was Gerard Way was a huge fan of Grant Morrison. And then Grant Morrison became a huge fan of My Chemical Romance. They listened to the Black Parade album while Grant Morrison was writing the Final Crisis. That was a huge thing, I guess, that Grant Morrison was listening to while he was writing Final Crisis. So so he's a big fan of My Chemical Romance. Then they met each other and became best friends. Now they're like really, really good friends. But they started off being fans of each other.
Nice.
I just can't imagine because there's a huge age difference. So Gerard Way grew up as a kid being a huge fan of Grant Morrison. I can't imagine what it would be like to find out that this person that you idolize as a comic book writer, you meet them and they're like, I'm actually a fan of your work. Like what?
Yeah,
that's wild.
It's mind blowing. And then you get to write Doom Patrol years later. It's like Circle of Life makes its way back.
For sure.
Buy that deluxe edition, guys. You guys will not be disappointed by Doom Patrol.
Oh, Doom
Here's
Patrol.
another Mark Millar World imprint book, Slaves of Mars, new Prodigy book. 144 pages, 1999. Issues 1 through 5.
It's Mark Millar's personal favorite creation.
That's
hold on. I love that they use the British spelling for favorite right there.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
But this is Dark Horse, who's like a American publisher, but they're like saying it's Mark Millar's favorite, so they had to spell it. He's Scottish, but you know what I mean. It's a complex blend of Bruce Wayne, James Bond, Sherlock Holmes, and Indiana Jones.
That's a lot of interesting people that's all in one. That's like all encompassing in one. It's not like,
I mean, you can argue that Sherlock Holmes influenced all three of those characters in some fashion, but
it's true.
I like it.
Zach Keller's Small Town Spirits. This is 1999, 88 pages. 13th of May next year. Small Town in Ireland. This is an OGN. So it is an all ages graphic novel. So stocking stuffer for somebody, I suppose. And it's also regular TPB size. It's not digest. So
cool.
Well, this will be out in May, so
yeah,
a little early for the stocking, but
Dom's just in
the Christmas spirit.
Holiday spirit and all cheers. Echoes of Fear, High Republic Adventures by George Mann, Eduardo Mello, and everybody else on there. 1999, 120 pages, collecting the Echoes of Fear miniseries.
Yeah. If you're
Feeding the Nameless. And then we have another one, which is Phase 3 Crash Zone by Daniel Jose Older, collecting the Crash Landing one-shots along with an annual. Oh, she is. Hello, Bar. Did I miss anything interesting? I don't think we had Have we had a single female-led indie creative thing? Nothing's popped up yet, has it?
I don't think so.
We had artist editions for covers.
Like things that Bar would be into?
Yeah, things that Bar would be into. I don't think anything's popped up yet.
Not yet. I don't know what she's into besides Marvel DC stuff. Like I know like she's into like Harley and Poison Ivy and that's all I know actually. But I don't know what indie stuff she's into. Let us know. Do you guys know?
Let us know. Let us know, Bar. Next up, we got Summer Shadows. Issues 1 through 4, 136 pages, $24.99. A neo-noir graphic novel.
Talented Mr. Ripley meets Dracula.
There you go.
Sci-fi fantasy thrillers. Let me think about that. I have to think back about what we just went over.
All good.
What about Conan? Are you into Conan the Barbarian? Just kidding.
All right, we got the next one, which is Top Secret Service by Zach Keller, Giovanna La Pietra. 88 pages, $19.99.
That cover looks awesome. Totally. Lifelong goal of the U.S. Secret Service are not assigned to protect the current president, but instead a retired ex-president enjoying the quiet life. Huh. Sounds interesting.
Next up, we got the writer. This is the DM, and then we have the regular by Josh Gad and Ariel Olivetti and the Berkowitz brothers. So Ariel Olivetti is this is a thrilling graphic novel of Jewish folklore and magic. So this is going to collect issues 1 through 4 of that. And then next up is the DM. Oh man. This is a cool cover.
Okay. So this seems to be a historical fiction mashing up of, because Stan Siegel, I got to think that's like a mashup of like Stan Lee, Jerry Siegel, right?
Yeah.
And then like this is like a comic book creator, writer that's plunging, like maybe the characters come to life kind of thing. And I think I know Stan Lee was Jewish, but I think Siegel was also Jewish. So I'm assuming that's got to be
you're
some
correct.
sort of tie into here too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I kind of like that idea. I don't know. Like, have you guys ever read the Adventures of Cavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon?
No. Sounds familiar though.
It's amazing. It's a novel. It's a prose novel, but Dark Horse did some comics based on the characters. But it's really cool. It's like it's about two fictional characters that are cousins right around World War II, and then they become. And like one cousin's from, I think, Germany, and then one's from America. But they get together and they form a comic book publishing company and things. But it kind of mirrors the exact historical aspects of comics. So you'll see like Marvel being created and all these things throughout the history of these two characters. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
It kind of does, yeah.
But with some fantasy elements, because it looks like the monsters and stuff come to life in here.
I might just even pick it up. This is such a cool cover. I can't stop. It's it does have like a lot more fantasy elements in it. Yeah, we don't know.
I'm curious though.
So yeah, I think this might be a series for you, Bar. There you go. The writer by Josh Gad, the Berkowitz brother, and Ariel Olivetti. I think this is the book that you have been waiting for.
There you go. All right.
All right. And with that, we are going to let all of you know about our sponsorship in Europe with none other than Walt's Comic Shop. Are you interested in getting the writer for a great deal on top of being on top of that? Get your comic books out at Walt's Comic Shop, which are stored in Berlin, Germany, with cheap pre-order prices for Marvel and DC books within the EU, with a flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, along with packaging that is bulletproof to the core. All emails are answered within 24 hours, and if you use the code NEARMINCONDITION at checkout, for the first time, you can get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order of over €40. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and edition and collected editions in Europe. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Next up, we got Boom Studios, if my thing will allow it. So, yeah, I have a lot of interesting books here, I thought, with Boom. The first of which is Farscape. So Farscape is coming out in both hardcover and trade paperback same day. $59.99 for the hardcover and then $49.99 for the trade paperback. Collecting the second parts of Farscape miniseries of the television show.
Was it? I'm sorry. Is this the series that we just found out they lost the license to too? There's like this in Buffy, right?
Yeah, you're correct.
So is this like the last collected edition for them?
I have no idea, because this is like they're labeling it as an official continuation, but they're also saying like, okay, like if they technically lost the license, who's gonna put it out next?
Yeah, we haven't heard any announcements about that. Someone speculated. I don't want to name names because they're kind of prominent in the community, but speculated that Marvel might actually have the rights because they're Fox properties, or Marvel might be able to. Sorry. Marvel doesn't own them. Disney owns them. Disney owns Fox. So Marvel might have access to the rights through Disney because of the Fox license.
Okay, so it's not Farscape. It's all the Joss Whedon show, who I also do believe he does own as well. So,
I think I mixed up Farscape and Firefly.
There you go.
I've never watched this show, so don't take any insult by that. If you're
watch Firefly, guys, it's like the one Whedon show I like.
Yeah, but it only ended after 1 year, right?
Yeah, it had 1 year and then the movie.
Well, I think that's what's always like deterred me from it, because I'm like, I don't like to watch a show that's already been canceled. Like, what? Like, did it end on a good?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the movie was great.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, it's the only Whedon show I like. So, well,
that's gonna upset more fans than me saying Farscape and Firefly. I get them mixed up. There's gonna be some Buffy fans watching in the chat that are like, "Ooh, I
sorry,
don't like that
guys.
guy."
Sorry. Hey, I promote these.
I just wanted to take the fire off of me and put it on you.
Of course. That's what I'm here for. Next up, we got MMPR Recharge Deluxe, $75, recharged and back into. I think this is the last one. I think this is the last one of the stuff before we do get. What's the new Melissa Flores series, Joe? What is it called?
Prime.
Prime, right?
Did they end the original run on issue 110?
Yeah, that sounds right. I think there might have been like a oversized special to finish it or whatever, but
well, there you go. Look at that, Dom. You nailed it. Way to go. That comes from Dom's experience working in a comic book shop. So a good comic book shop employee is one that can find any customer that walks up to him and can find the perfect book for him.
And by the way, it went up to 122.
Oh, so maybe there's
going
to
to
be
one more.
Yeah. So, and it relaunches or reboots. It's cool because I haven't dived into it yet. But a few months ago, I was say a few months ago.
Go ahead, Joe. What are we gonna say?
A few months ago, there was a Humble Bundle for like everything from this like continuity from when it started to before it relaunched, and it was like a fantastic deal, and I picked all of it up just today. So I haven't delved into it yet, but I'm excited to at some point.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself for not picking that one up. That one in the TMNT, like the new modern continuity, like they had a humble bundle for all those too, and I missed out on that one.
I will say that all of them, I was able to get most of them off of a sale. And I read year 1. The only one from the deluxes that I'm missing at the moment is year 2. Like I have Shattered Grid, I have everything else. I'm like, I'm not gonna continue the story. I remember I sent a picture of my Power Rangers haul to another friend, and he was like, "You literally have one piece of this thing that like you can't continue on because you just don't have it." I was like, "Wait, what?" So I haven't continued for that reason. I'm like, I don't want to spoil myself in the deluxe book 1, which is a different, future continuity right after the original stuff. I'm not gonna bother myself with spoilers, so I'll get around to it when I get around to it. But I really did enjoy it.
The volume you're missing, is it out of print?
I don't believe so, but I don't want to buy like these things are expensive. $75 for a deluxe edition is a lot of money.
It is. Because the discount, the markdown discounts aren't as deep either.
Well, I was going to say, normally I'd obviously like prefer to read these physically, which is why I always try to hold off on the humble bundles, because normally I can just, especially if it's like an assorted collection of stuff, but with this, because it was just like so much for such like a cheap price, it was silly not to.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the markdowns on these aren't tremendously high because of Diamond.
Smaller publisher.
Right. So I got it. But yeah, anybody in the chat, someone send me year 2 my way if you have the deluxe of it. I'd love to.
There you go.
Now, we do have an interesting one here, which is a Vicious Circle, both a regular hardcover and the direct market. The direct market cover, I think, looks cool. So,
nice.
I read the first issue of this and absolutely loved it. I have not picked up the rest of the issues yet. This is issues 1 through 3 of A Vicious Circle. $29.99 for both. Mattson Tomlin loved his Batman the Imposter series over at DC a couple of years ago for Black Label. And I saw that he was teaming up with Lee Bermejo, who has also done a good bits of work at DC and other publishers, obviously. And I was blown away by that first issue. So.
Yeah, I've been patiently waiting for a collection as it's been coming out. But
yeah,
it's finally here almost. I don't think I've read anything with Leo Bermejo's interior art.
Interesting.
I read Batman the Imposter, but apart from that
was Sorrentino. Yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of Mattson Tomlin,
thank you for still being here, Brent. This is this was an awesome first issue. I love the world building. It's also in a nice magazine size. It's not one of those like smaller books, so cool. You'll be getting the full experience for this one.
I wonder if that's a Bermejo thing. I wonder if he really enjoyed that format with Batman Damned. The drawing of that size.
Oh yeah, he did. I know he probably did. I mean, he collaborated with Azzarello all the time. I consider those two like in one of those inseparable creator duos, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you like what you saw of him in Joker and Lex Luthor and Batman Damned, and then on top of that, Tomlin in Batman the Imposter, as Joe mentioned, I think you guys would love this series. At $29.99. Who's saying no to a cover with dinosaurs and a robot and a soldier? Come on.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
Guys. Trade paperbacks, first of which is Dune, House Atreides, Volume 3.
So these are the comic book adaptations. They've released these in hardcovers. So looks like now they're doing paperbacks. Paperback Dan, you still in the chat? Here you go.
I don't know what these are like, but similar to the Blade Runner comics, it's something where I love the movies, but I've never read the comics so far.
And this is this adaptation in particular is adapting Brian Herbert's stuff, which is the son of Frank Herbert, I think his name is.
Correct.
That was the original Dune. Yeah, there it is. Frank created Frank Herbert. So Brian Herbert, after Frank Herbert's passing, his son Brian took over and started expanding the lore of Dune. So this is adapting that stuff, which is cool.
Is indeed cool. And we already talked about Farscaped. Next of which is Garfield Family Style, $14.99. Live, laugh, and lasagna. Or pizza, I guess. Man, I want pizza now. Gosh dang it. I haven't eaten breakfast yet, so.
I know Comics with Dan had a video when the first issue came out, reviewing it and with his kids, and they mentioned what they thought about it, which was a fun video. I think they enjoyed it.
Yeah, it looks like a comic book series based on the movie, it says, but Jim Davis isn't part of this, who's the original writer and creator and artist of Garfield comic strip, which is he's from Indiana, so I've got to by being a fellow Hoosier, I've got to be a fan of Jim Davis. But
they're the adaptations, Dan,
of the novels, but they're expanding the lore of Dune. I think you like the Dune movies, if I remember, Dan. So they're kind of expanding that world.
We are talking about those indie comics, Bunk, and we can't wait to talk about them with you in a couple months.
Everybody's anticipating your debut onto this video.
Well, re-debut. He was in one of these a couple months ago, and then worked.
Oh,
and then
okay.
He'll be back.
I've never been on a stream with Bunk, so it'll be a great time to finally meet the legend.
I don't know. Are you going to be doing a tank top for that one, Bunk? Thank you, James, for the that one. But yeah, it's like 50 degrees over here. We had a flash flood happen a couple days ago, so
it's 50 degrees. So he's probably bundled up by a space heater and a coat and parka and scarf and hat.
Mm-hmm.
You Californians are you think 50 degrees is like frigid temperatures, don't you?
Well, in fairness for me, I grew up in the Philippines. Growing up here, I never adapted to. I love cold weather. I will say. I just never got used to it.
I had family from Hawaii, and whenever they'd visit us in Indiana, it'd be like 50, 60 degrees, and they'd be wearing like coats. And we were like, "What are you guys? You guys okay?"
I always get berated, like if I'm talking with my parents and I go out somewhere, it's like 60 degrees. They're like, you should be wearing 3 layers, not just one. And I was like, all right, next up. Okay, I am super excited for this because of the creative team. I love Marcus Toe. Hive Mind is cool. 1999. Oh man, I can't wait. This looks cool. Maybe a deluxe someday, but yeah.
It's cool that it's all in one. It collects all 12 issues. When was the series originally coming out? It's fairly recent, isn't it? Like it's not like an old series, is it? The Adventurous Love Letter to Science Fiction.
2016.
Okay. So 8 years ago. This must have been the series that got him going then.
There you go. You got boxes coming in.
All right. That's going to be huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is early. This is early Hive Mind. And this is Toe right before he won. Oh gosh.
Oh, you cut out there.
Okay, I'm here.
This is Marcus Toe.
Marcus Toe right before he got on Nightwing Rebirth. Okay. Yeah, so this was in the late 2016, 2017. So I love his art. I can't wait to get this. Here's another one, Profane by Pete Milligan and Raul Fernandez. That's a nice cover by Javi, who's going to be on $17.99.
That's an amazing cover. Javier Rodriguez is one of those artists that has like that classic silver age ink line with his work, but like modernized, like kind of like Mike Allred or who are some other artists that like that. But
Doc Shaner.
And then Doc Shaner's up there. Yeah. Peter Milligan, though, he is such a prolific writer. Like I feel like every time I go to a comic book shop, I see like he's writing 3 new series that I never heard of. And I love everything I've ever read from Peter Milligan. I've enjoyed. So I need to catch up on my Peter Milligan comics, and this seems pretty interesting. Private detective. His name's Spud Coltrane. Oh, the murder of Spud Coltrane. What a cool name. I was really pushing this on X when it first came out. He's really proud of it. Oh, well, there we go.
Next up and last up, we do have Slam Complete Collection by Pamela Ribon and Veronica Fish. Collecting Slam and Slam the Next Jam 1 through 4. Complete collection. So see, here's another one for you, paperback Dan. Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Chris Brogan, good morning to you. This is $20. And I think that is it. That is it for Boom. And last but not least, we do have Image. But if you are looking to get a Vicious Circle and pre-order that, you can check that out at our American sponsor, Cheap Graphic Novels, stationed in the heart of Los Angeles. Cheap Graphic Novels brings you wonderful packaging, wonderful customer service, and at the tip of the hat, you can go to checkout. And you will get free shipping on your next order if you are a first-time customer. If you mention that Near Mint Condition referred you, that is again Cheap Graphic Novels.
And we should say that they are gearing up for their annual Black Friday sale, where I think starting on Thanksgiving, Max over at Cheap Graphic Novels starts to trickle out the sales based on publishers. So things like Marvel, there'll be like Marvel omnibuses first, and then DC Absolutes and omnibuses, and then slowly trickling them out until you get to indies and stuff. So look forward to that if you're looking to spend some Black Friday shopping on some comic books.
This is a nice plus for those who are interested in Slam. I think I might check it out. I might. All right. Next up, we do got The Image and Cobra. All right, this is definitely going to be on Peter Marineri's wish list at the top, which is Rob Liefeld's Youngblood Vault Edition at $150.
Oh wow!
Yeah, 1 through 4 pin every. I guess since Image got the right, or Rob Liefeld, got the rights back to this series,
which is huge news. He lost the rights to Youngblood. So this collects every page from the first 4 issues. This is basically an artist edition. This is what the Image calls their artist editions or vault editions. We recently got the release for Savage Dragon. Came out, I think, this month. And they done 2 Spawn vault editions in the past, I believe. So now we're getting like the Image trifecta. I think the only thing next we need is like Jim Lee's Wildcats and Cyberforce from Sylvester. But Liefeld got Youngblood back, which he then, once he got that back, he subsequently retired from doing Marvel comics. He claims he'll never do another Marvel comic in his life. But now he's going full force with the Youngblood universe, and he's going to be putting out some new comics, and this is a way to celebrate the past of that and the first 4 issues, which is really cool. This is, I can't remember. I think he inked all of these himself, which is Rob Liefeld when he's at his best. I'm a big Rob Liefeld fan. Say what you want about him, I don't care. But when he's inking himself, it's one like the best era of Liefeld's art, and I'm pretty sure he inks himself on all 3 of these, or all 4 of these, I mean. But I'll be excited about this for sure.
So no, $150 for the quote-unquote artist edition types at Image Comics. How did he lose the rights to this book?
It was like a bad movie deal, some sort of option rights where he I don't know it was a mess though, and it was really horrific for him. He was super upset about it, obviously, as you can imagine. But I think it had something to do with the movie deal, that in a bad business deal where someone ended up taking over the rights, and then they did nothing with it, and then he subsequently got it back. But
all right, next up, we have the Frankenstein Universal Monsters deluxe hardcover. The first of which is the Michael. This is the regular market cover, and this is the direct market cover. Oh, that's a lovely cover by Julian Totino Tedesco. $24.99, and collecting Universal Monsters Frankenstein 1 through 4. So this is these are direct market covers for a hardcover that came out earlier this year. I don't remember when that hardcover came out, but I know that I remember this bit. Maybe it's me. I have no idea.
No, I think this is the first time because they did Dracula.
Okay. Yeah,
Dracula came out first.
That's right. That's right. You're right.
With Simmons and JT4, James Tynion. They did Dracula first, and then Creature from the Black Lagoon came out with Dan Waters, I think was the writer on that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then now we have this one, which I loved the Dracula one. I love Department of Truth, so having that same writer and artist on Dracula was awesome. I've not read Creature from the Black Lagoon or this one. I am curious to see if that momentum stays up. But yeah, Skybound has the license for the Universal Monster, so it seems like they're doing 4-issue series for all of them. Okay. I'll be curious if they do a Invisible Man and who they get on that team.
Yeah, I've heard lots of good things about these. I haven't read them. I've got the Dracula one.
That one's amazing. And actually came with I got it from Cheap Graphic Novels, the aforementioned sponsor. And it came with a signed book plate by both James Tynion and Martin Simmons, which I wasn't even expecting. I didn't know it was going to come with a book plate, but it did.
Oh, nice.
Interesting. Okay. I will keep that in mind because I love this I love Totino Tedesco just in general. I picked up a lot of his variants for the Tom King Wonder Woman series that or his new ongoing. He did the first 11 or so variant covers for that one. I'm always dazzled by his artwork. So
click on that image again.
Yeah,
because I had a Chip Zdarsky blurb. Michael Walsh proves why he's the greatest horror comics artist of our generation. Wow, that's high praise.
That is very high praise from one of the industry's best. So, and then last but not least, this is I Hate Fairyland Deluxe Volume 3, which collects the brand new I Hate Fairyland series. I have the first 2 hardcovers somewhere on my launch because she's grown up in this brand new one. So
yeah, this is the era that Scotty Young's only writing, not drawing.
Yeah, I need to read this because it looks like a lot of fun.
It's super.
Yeah,
it's Alice. It's a very violent Alice in Wonderland, but that's why I love it. I think, and this is me. I really do think Scotty Young is a better writer than he is an art. Nothing to say off of his chibi art because I know lots of people love it. But man, that guy can write some really, really good emotional stories. And it's very much different tone from the first series because it's not just a kid who's smashing up stuff. She's all grown up, and it's a lot more a lot more mature than the previous series for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like Middle West, Strange Academy.
Mm-hmm. I love the blurb here where it says Eisner Award-winning writer and artist on, a ton of books. you know you made it in the comic book business when they just have that, and you just know. You know who they are.
Me You Love in the Dark too. That was he's great writer. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the trade paperbacks. The first of which is from the very critically acclaimed Massiverse. I just got finished reading with Radiant Black Year 1 not too long ago. That was a lot of fun. I am kicking myself because I didn't get into this universe quickly enough. This is going to be Cal 1964, which is part of their new, brand new, whatever you want to call it, I also finished reading Inferno Girl Red, and even though it's like not really tangentially real, I don't. Am I dreaming? Is this? This isn't part of the Radioverse, is it? Or Massiverse?
It is.
It is,
okay.
yes.
Okay, so I wasn't
Retroactively.
dreaming. Okay.
So technically, Cal came out before all of the Radiant Black stuff ever was created. This is like an older series that Kyle Higgins did. I think this is a newer series from that, whatever you call it, universe or whatever. But they've retroactively made Cal part of the Radiant Black universe. It's like I think there's like two trade paperbacks that collect the original Cal series that came out like years and years and years ago, like before. I think even before Higgins started doing Power Rangers,
like 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. So then when he went to do Radiant Black, he's retroactively put this as part of that universe.
Oh, okay.
I love the first trade of Cal. I mean, I love that Rod Rice artwork, but I haven't read the rest of it yet, and I haven't read this. But obviously, I love the Massiverse, so very excited.
Consider me intrigued. And yeah, it's got Alex Siegel and Rod Reyes' name is on it too. For those who are asking for the East of West hardcovers to be reprinted, this is what we do have, which is the End Times Compendium. My favorite indie series ever. That's only because I'm a Jonathan Hickman stan. But I freaking adore this series to death. $59.99 issues 1 through 45 of East of West. This does not have the source book for. It's not listed here, so unless someone at the Image Solicits printer misplaced it, it's not listed here. I don't know if it's going to be a deal breaker for anyone. That might be for somebody out there, but I am interested to see if they update the solicitations.
I'd be kind of surprised. Usually these compendiums are pretty bare bones. Like they don't have like a lot of like extras in the back of them. Which correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't got a lot of the recent ones, but I think they're pretty much just collect just the issues. It's just a big way to get just the issues. Correct. I am kicking myself though because I didn't get the hardcovers. I read the series via my library. They had all the paperbacks, and I held out too long on the hardcovers, and Hickman has claimed he's never going to reprint those, but we'll see if that holds true. So I might have to pick this up myself because I do love this series.
Yeah, because
this was awesome to see because I've heard so much about it and I haven't read it yet, and obviously now with Costa's artwork and Hickman and everything they're both doing separately.
Yeah,
and for anyone that's not,
go ahead.
For anyone that hasn't read it, it's your typical Hickman series where it's a slow burn. In the beginning, it might seem like things are confusing, but by the end, all those threads will be tied together nicely and just in perfect Jonathan Hickman fashion.
It's his indie stuff also contains a lot of strong features. We had those in Decorum. We had those in East of West. So if you're looking for something like, if you read Fantastic Four and really like the way he wrote Sue Storm, a lot of his characters here I think are even more fleshed out than they are in his F4 series. If there's any throw-ins to where you think you want to go on with that. But yeah, this is, I mean, they like Hickman and Dragata were working on Future Foundation, and I guess must have loved working on that because they put all their hearts in with this series, and you can tell it hits you in a lot of ways. I remember like reading at the start being like hooked into like, oh, like we got the 4 horsemen, but it's well done. And it gave me a lot of good tears at the end when I head to it. So
yeah, it was cool because I remember 3 weeks ago now, there was like a few image compendiums that were found on Amazon, like East of West and Wicked and the Divine, and it's just really satisfying to have these like big series in complete paperbacks.
Yeah, no, it would be nice. I think you and Paperback Dan are sort of in the same boat now, Joe, where you can like finally get a chance to read all of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, Decorum is great, man. I for the most part, there are some indie series of Hickman's that I am kind of met on. Transhuman. I wasn't particularly fond of that but for the most part, his indies usually do something for me. So, yeah, it's pick this up, guys. I have no idea if those hardcovers are coming back to print, and those are super hard to find nowadays. But I'm thankful I stocked up on those like the day it dropped. That was one where I was like, I need, I need this. I need this out. So, but continuing on for creators I love, Rick Remender and Andy Samberg, along with Roland Bosky. Roland Bosky did a Remender series that I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I have all of his indies in the nice. I'm waiting for the library size deluxe editions for Remender, but this is the Holy Roller, and is collecting the entire series. This for freaking $9.99, which
incredible deal, even for Image.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, it's about a vigilante who smashes people in the face with a bowling ball. You've got Rick Remender, then you have Andy Samberg from SNL and Joe Troman from Fall Out Boy. This all seems insane, and I want to read it.
I've read like half of this, and it was a lot of fun. So, definitely recommend. I need to read the rest.
Kingpin meets Inglourious Bastards. I'm sold. Kingpin, like the classic, like Woody Harrelson, Bill Murray comedy movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not Kingpin, the Spider-Man Daredevil villain.
Completely agreed. Yeah, I'll pick this up in that deluxe format that Remender loves his books in whenever that comes out. But if you are looking for a deal, I mean, it really doesn't get better than the Image pricing at that point.
It's like a $1 an issue, basically.
Yeah, you're never gonna find a better deal than that, with the exception of some humble bundles. So. Next up, we do have Remote Space by Cliff Rathburn.
I haven't heard much about this, but that solicit sounds really cool because I've had a bit about this before, but not many people have read it.
That solicit is interesting. And it's all done with the one hand too, which is cool. Climate change, robots, and DNA manipulation. That sounds fun.
So I know Cliff Rathbun's done like inking and coloring, but I don't know how much he's written on drawings. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I find interesting too, because I always see like in a lot of like some Batman comics I'm reading, it's like, oh, Cliff Rathburn inked this. That's interesting. I'm kind of unfamiliar with his writing / penciling work, so that cover is neat. I'll give him that. Next up, we got Rifters by Brian Posehn, the half mind of one of the greatest Deadpool runs of all time, with Chris Johnson on art and Joe Troman on the co-writing, collecting Rifters issues 1 through 6, $16.99.
Joe Troman also on writing on this, if you're a Fall Out Boy fan. But Dom, will you read that first sentence for us?
Please. Sarin wrap your ass, because you're about to projectile yourself right into the world of Rifter, where Time Cop collides with Law and Order, filtered through the stupid McLaw-Einstein lens of Mr. Show.
Love it. Also, Joe Troman apparently trying to get into comics.
Yeah, a lot of Fallout guys are trying to get in. I find that interesting.
Yeah, I know. Pete Wentz co-wrote that one series that Omar and I'm drawing blank. Not Melanie, the Amazing Amanda. Also, they interviewed Pete Wentz, which is cool because I know Amanda's a huge Fall Out Boy fan.
I did not know that. The chat was quick to get on you. Get on you.
I just drew a blank. I know her name. I just, I'm bad with names sometimes. They just fall out of my head.
Next up, we do have Self-Help by Owen King, Jesse Kellerman, with Maria Ignazi Oh, that's a Steve. Oh, that's a nice Stephen Byrne. I love Stephen Byrne. I like it when he draws stuff. Self-help 1 through 5, $16.99, 12th of February.
Owen King, the one son that's not too embarrassed to share his dad's last name.
I heard good things about this from a friend.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, Omar does not like Fall Out Boy. That was a joke. I told him that the NMC accounts are all following Fall Out Boy now. He's like, dang it. It's just not his music. I think he liked the comic though. So no, I don't want to disparage his interview and things that he did with Amanda, but it's just not his music, you know?
Can we get an hashtag Omar was wrong again in chat?
Okay, that time it was you that called for
it. Silver Lake, Andrea Moody, the guy who he did something with Jeff Johns for those was it Blizzard? I think that was Blizzard. So that's how I know the guy's name. With Johns or Platten. It's a nice middle name. I have no idea what this is, but I love war comics. It's a setting in World War I. The other war that people usually gloss over about, although that's a lot of trench fighting, at least on the western side of the front. 12th of February as well for this, $16.99 too.
Yeah, this looks amazing. I love that cover, and I love the concept here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no one. I find a lot of minorities fighting in war, especially like World War I, where you have like select regiments of the U.S. Army that often get glossed over because we're embroiled in the then bigger unified German state, and France and Britain and Russia and all those, and Austria-Hungary too. No one talks about some of those regiments that were that was a cool, interesting concept to me.
I mean, that's been the history of America, right? When we had African American slaves that were in the Revolutionary War, not getting like the credit they deserved as well. So that's been an unfortunate part of American history. But I agree with you. Learning about those under talked about regiments, definitely interesting. And important.
I agreed. That is a great cover. I agree with that, Chris. There we go, James. Fall Out Boy music is great.
I'm a old school Fall Out Boy fan. I remember Fall Out Boy back when they were playing to like small venues, to like hardcore, like in the hardcore music scene. Before they became kind of I don't know, I guess they gravitated towards like a teeny bopper kind of fan base.
Yeah. I think they do. I think they sell themselves out as that. Yeah. Creepshow, continuing the line of Creepshow anthology trade paperbacks.
James Stocco,
third series.
Sign me up for James Stocco. His art style is so insanely detailed that you don't see his name on a lot of comics because you can imagine it takes a long time for him to draw comics. Whenever you do, it's always a treat. Then you got the Ice Cream Man team of Martin Morazzo and Crystal Halloran on art and colors here as well for this cover. A lot of good names in that bunch. Obviously, friend of the channel, Chip Zdarsky.
And then Omar put out the overview of the deluxe edition yesterday or today. And
that collects the first two trade paperbacks, right?
Yes.
So this is the next one after that deluxe edition then.
So we'll probably have another one. Which delves into Chris's question. Do we know how many Creepshow books are? So they're gonna be all 5-issue series anthology.
And Skybound has the license to it, just like they do the Universal Monsters one. So I think it's just as long as it keeps being popular.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the format will be a trade paperback collecting each of those 5-issue series that Dom was talking about, and then probably a deluxe collecting 2 of those trade paperbacks. I assume would be the format they're going for.
Yes, indeed. Criminal Volume 3, The Dead and the Dying. So if you're or just a regular trade paperback guy, don't want to collect it all in those thicker Volume 1, 2, 3s, This is the way to get it free. I mean, it's peak crime fiction comics. I don't think I needed those.
It does surprise me because obviously they're doing this in conjunction to have these come out whenever the new Amazon series comes out, that adaptation. But it kind of shocks me they're not doing thicker trades, or at least like a compendium obviously makes sense, but like thicker trades that mirror the exact contents of the hardcovers or something.
Like
or reprinting
whatever. Yeah.
Or reprinting the hardcovers because some of those are out of print. But it's interesting that it is basically reprinting the old trade paperbacks that originally came out, but with new covers.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows?
Who knows? Feral by the wonderful Tony Fleeks, Brad Simpson, Trish Forster, Tone Rodriguez, $16.99. Feral 6-10.
I had Tony on the podcast earlier in the year talk about this. Read the first 3 issues and it was really cool. I need to another one I need to catch up on.
You know what to do, James. Yeah, I love Tony. He's doing some good stuff, and I want to say that he was at one of our local cons here in the Bay Area a year ago, and a friend got to meet him, and he loved those bits. So,
also, if I remember correctly, I can't remember which way around it was, but he talked about on the episode how between Trish and Tone, one of them did the backgrounds, one of them did the characters. So you end up with these like really Disney-fied characters and these slightly like darker, a bit more grim and detailed backgrounds, which is really cool.
And there you go.
Thank you,
James, for the plug to the Tony Fleeks on this specific comic interview. Oh man, yeah, this is one for me. This is Geiger Volume 2 by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. I feel like I've read that deluxe like 4 times over now, and I can't wait because Junkyard Joe's coming out this week. Oh man, yeah, I am in love with what the Ghost Machine people. I'm in love with the Ghost Machine people are doing. I love the creative team. And I can't wait for this to come out in deluxe as well, whenever that decides to drop. And then we got Invincible, Volume 8. This is the digest size editions. As Taylor was mentioning, or so yeah, collecting issues 42 through 47, $14.99.
It is like their kind of manga version. Not manga versions, but kind of like trying to go out for that part of the book market.
Yeah, I know. Series like Saga, I've also started doing something similar. So probably mentioned before.
And then Lego. So I think this got delayed by 2 months. Not too long ago, but this is $12.99 for all the Lego Ninjago fans. I think this might be, you know what? My brother grew up watching that TV show that had some of the Legos as well. So perfect for the kids. Public Domain Volume 2. So this is one that I want this to come out in deluxe edition. I don't care who, when, or wherever. One of my favorite Chip Zdarsky series. I call it the life of Jack Kirby, very much. But it is on it's a wonderful series on creator rights and publishing rights, and you getting to see it through the hands of in this comic. So collecting issues 6 through 10, and it's all written and drawn by Chip.
Yeah, I loved the first volume when I read it a couple of years ago.
I need to read this. It's very much up my alley, and there's no real excuse why I haven't read it yet. I just need to.
Gotta get in deluxe. And met Tony at a con. Have him. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Stray Dogs is a horror comic.
Yeah, there's a big argument in some of the fan community on whether that's a horror comic or not, and Dan is exactly right.
He is. And I know this one's definitely from the Massive Verse. This is volume 4 of Rogue Sun, 1799. I can't wait for this to come out in deluxe as well whenever they decide to do it. So 19 through 24.
Yeah, this one's cool as well.
And then, yeah, for the Spawn people, we do have 2 trade paperbacks. We have volume 30 of Spawn, which is collecting 179 to 184, along with Spawn Sin's War, which is the continuation relaunch post issue 300 of the McFarlane universe. So issues 331 to 337 are in Sin's War. What's the furthest place from here? And that is going to be it from the solicitations, issues 7 through 9 and 19. Those are being collected in here, $14.99. Of course, this is the Matt Rosenberg, Tyler Boss, Joshua Hickson, etc. Horror comic.
Yeah, this series was really cool. I'm glad that they're finally collecting those issues 7 through 9 because they were like flashback issues that were like set before the start of the series. So of course, when they did volume 2 and volume 3, people were like, "Why are they skipping over those issues?" But that's just the way they decided to collect them.
For sure.
Yeah, it's a fun series. I read the first trade and liked it a lot. I still need to pick up volume 2.
It's time.
It is.
It is time. And it also is, that is it for these solicitations. I want to ask the panelists and even some of the chat to chime in here. Which of these are you the most hyped for coming out in the month of February?
For me, it's the Liefeld Volt edition or the Mazzucchelli Daredevil edition, artist edition.
So that is Taylor's. Joe, what about you? Which one are you looking forward to the most for these?
Maybe the East of West compendium, probably.
Ooh, okay. That's a really good pick.
Yeah. I think there's lots of good stuff, though, particularly in the image that I found.
Yeah, this might be my Holy Roller for $9.99. That might be my pick, but I think I'm gonna have to choose Vicious. If I could find it, gosh. Vicious Circle. I think this might be mine.
Boom, yeah. Yeah, that's a really close one as well.
Paranoid Gardens is another one I'm really stoked to read.
That's a good one too. And I believe that is going to be all from us. We have hit the 2-hour mark with the preview stream, and this was fun as always. But I'd like to thank my panelists for joining me to talk about these books so I can get a different viewpoint, and of course, always enjoy their presence, their company, and their content. Joe, where can people find you, my friend?
You can find me on Blue Sky at Joe Talks Comics, on Instagram and on League of Comic Geeks at Joe Loves Comics, and the podcast on usual places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. Got some exciting interviews last week and this week, so I hope people go over and check them out.
He has. Most recently, he did a we were talking backstage. I told him he did an interview with the Family Universe line of comics in Ghost Machine under Tomasi, Snaberg, and Manipool's printouts. So check all of those books like we were talking about with the Geiger earlier. They got some good stuff at Ghost Machine there. Thank you, Joe. Taylor, the SMG. How could people find you?
Over on YouTube at Taylor Talks Comics. Please subscribe. I'm on the road to 3,000 subscribers. If you're into indie comics, I recently did videos on Basil Wolverton, a classic Golden Age cartoonist, and also did my top 10 comfort comics, which that has a lot of indie stuff in there as well. But yeah, and then also I talk on all of the Near Mint Edition social media platforms and all those links that James is sharing.
And of course, you can thank you, Taylor. Of course, you can find me on comicreleases.com, which is where we viewed all of these solicitations and etc. Thank you for following us on Blue Sky. We appreciate it. But I am 1 subscriber away from 2,300, and I'm of course on the road to 3,000 as well. So if you are new here and you have not subbed to me yet, I am almost at that mark. Would appreciate it. Find me on Blue Sky there, where I do talk sometimes now versus Twitter, where I felt like I had no voice. With a lot of followers, just no voice. And then comic releases, that is where you can find this and everything else. We also do have a Patreon up as well. If you want to track all the books that we just mentioned, they are up on our watch list. If you go under collected editions, click on all upcoming, all the books are there. For just $2 a month, you can help us fixate server costs and everything else as well. So it helps me out, helps Webhead out, it helps the site out. So there we do have our Patreon. If you want to talk to me and contact me on Discord about something NMC related, me related, whatever related, check me out there. But that'll be all from us. I am Dom of X, comicreleases.com assistant editor with Taylor and Joe. Please have a blessed month, have a blessed week. And yes, I am doing a DC Finest stream with Curtis this Friday at our usual time. So yeah, tune in for that. Those help me out, and I love that man to death. We can't wait to talk to you about the first line of these books. That
Flash volume. Have you started reading that yet?
Oh, dude, this is awesome. Holy,
yes. I love Silver Age Flash. It's like Carmine Infantino's artwork in there is so brilliant. That fits right in line with
storytelling is brilliant too. But yeah,
it fits right in line with fits right in line with the classic Marvel Silver Age stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Nice.
But I will be talking about that with Curtis on Friday, where we literally have books to talk about now instead of speculating. So, thank you guys so much for watching. And have a blessed week, blessed month, blessed Thanksgiving if you celebrate it, and if not, have a great weekend, guys. Thank you.